Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to Carthage Firebirds broadcast. I'm your host, Bearded Man, and I'm joined by the marvelous Bunny. How you doing, Bunny?
I'm doing great. How are you, the Bearded Man?
I'm ready. I'm ready for Smash. It is always a great night. Friday nights, I think are the perfect nights for Smash because I think this game definitely a different take on. I would say a different take on esports, but it's unlike anything anything else we have offered here. A lot of FPSs in general, and Rocket League, I should say. But Smash is different, and I think might be the oldest esport that's being offered here. And I think honestly, it might be the oldest overall. I don't think there's any game. Smash Ultimate is new, but like Smash Brothers in general,
I think you're correct.
It's definitely one of the oldest. I know that there's Pac-Man, but I don't know if that's still as popular.
Is Pac-Man esports?
It was the birth of esports. I think came from those achieving the high score at the arcade games. And then Smash coming out. I believe I'd love to look more into this because as I'm saying this, I don't really know, but I think Smash was one of the first like really notable multiplayer party games in a sense that came out on the Nintendo 64 back when. I know Pong was definitely the first to have two people playing each other, but Smash I don't think will ever die because I love it. I really do. And tonight we have 4 matches coming at you tonight. First game is going to be starting very shortly. We have Lunar Synergy versus Schmalz from Fisher College. Later tonight at 6:30, we have Dean Machine versus Warrior for Life from North Central University. And then Fuzzy taking on Bleezus from Waldorf University and Soren from Lakeland University. But those are all... I'm going to sneeze. I feel the sneeze. Sorry about that. Right now we have Lunar Synergy versus Schmalz, and right off the bat we're seeing Schmalz do a lot of burst damage onto Will. A good combo there, hitting a bunch of jabs, but Will's gonna come back and just beat Schmalz with a lot more damage as well, kind of tying it up. But here we're gonna see both players kind of taking that aerial combat that we do see quite often. And I think Lunar Synergy is a very, very powerful person, especially playing this Byleth. It's a really good person to have that up abilities and up attacks, vertical attacks, I should say. And against the Ness, I'm really liking this. And already we're seeing one of the stocks off of the pool from Schmalz. Lot of damage, however, because Ness is just able to get an upper hand every once in a while, we're seeing Lunar Synergy kind of struggling here. But as we saw last week, that grapple ability is going to be playing some amazing moments. It's going to be causing Lunar Synergy to have that security when he's playing off the side of the map. And as I say that, we're seeing another stock taken off of the clock or the pool, as I'll say. For Schmalz, it is not looking good, in all honesty. I know Lunar Synergy is a great player, but this is definitely a good example of his dominance, just having no real issue against this Nets and hitting it more and more, knocking Schmalz off the side of the arena. And as I say that, taking Schmalz off the board one last time, resulting in a win in round 1. That was phenomenal to watch. Barely taking any damage, having all 3 lives still in the pool. Lunar Synergy definitely showing a really good round 1. What did you think?
Yeah, definitely getting some just great hits. Schmalz wasn't able to get a lot of hits with Ness there, and just a lot of combos that Schmalz wasn't really able to do much about.
Yeah, there wasn't really much I can say either. I mean, it was just really just Lunar Synergy making sure that any moment that Schmalz could open up for an attack, it was either, hey, I'm going to put you up in the air and you're not going to be able to get an angle on me, or, I'm going to knock you off the stage and cause you to have a very bad time. But ultimately, I'm expecting to see that dominance again in round 2. But if you were Schmalz, what would be going through your mind right now? What do you think the situation, the choice is to win this round 2?
I think Schmalz is probably going to have to go with a bit more aggressive pick. I think with Byleth, not only does she have the range, but she also has the melee. And I think Schmalz is going to have to find a way to counteract that.
Oh, yeah, and we can see Lunar Synergy with that bow and arrow attack, just being able to kind of stop any sort of vertical play off the stage, trying to get that one last second shot when Schmalz was like all the way on the other side of the map, off screen basically. That one last arrow trying to get that, knocking Schmalz off, and that is a good thing to have, in all honesty. I think having those finishing touches, as I'll say, definitely help you out. And I mean, Lunar Synergy is also just a phenomenal player. You can't deny that. We are seeing time and time again just pure dominance on the field, and in this case, in the stadium. Pokemon Stadium, though, I think we're seeing, I believe Lunar Synergy has played on only Pokemon Stadium, and it is a classic map.
It is.
It really is. It's probably my favorite one. I think Pokemon Stadium 1 is my favorite because they have the 2 iterations, but something about it. The 1 is just the classic for me.
You know my feelings on the Pikmin map.
I know. I think Pikmin is a great map. I think Olimar is. I love playing Olimar in Smash. I think especially being able to use the Pikmin as a kind of a grappling hook as well.
Yes.
Not as good as I think as Byleth, but ultimately is enough to get the job done.
Yeah, doing a similar sort of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, I think he's definitely somebody people don't expect to be a good person. But as much as I love Olimar, as I've always said, I'm a big Kirby guy. If it works. I think I have beaten some of my friends. I had one friend in high school who actually went to the state championship for Smash, and I beat him on Kirby.
Wow.
He is very salty, and even to this day proceeds to make me feel bad about it and be like, oh my god, you played Kirby, and I'm like, I still won. I like it. He plays Duck Hunt, and I'm surprised we don't see more Duck Hunt in these matchups. But I mean, I think just people are a little bit more comfortable playing we're seeing Lunar Synergy playing Byleth. We've seen Raymond the Goat playing Cloud and Ike and Marth. I believe it was Marth, actually, not Ike. No, it's Ike. I say that. Raymond the Goat playing Ike. But here we are at Lunar Synergy, round 2 against Schmalz from Fisher College. We're seeing a similar situation here. We're seeing Lunar Synergy just laying down hit after hit onto Schmalz without taking any sort of hits. And honestly, it's these vertical plays we're seeing. These aerial, knocking Schmalz up into the air. And once he comes back down, getting hit off the stage.
Just Lunar Synergy here getting all just good timing on the hits. Small's not able to get very many hits off at all and falling off the edge again.
I love that Lunar Synergy has already taken 2 stocks off of the board and had 10% damage there. 10% of his health bar, his first stock, was depleted. And ultimately, it's just more and more dominance here. Taking a lot more damage, though, than we saw in round 1. I believe Lunar Synergy finished round 1 with 71% or 72%, and now 91%. So there is progress being had. Schmalz is definitely getting some more lucky, I wouldn't say lucky hits, probably a little bit smarter hits here. Seeing those openings. Lunar Synergy, though, timing that shield. I believe Schmalz knocking it. That was a great play.
Yeah.
It was. I was not expecting it to be an immediate smash there after that shield deployment, but that's exactly what we saw. A little bit of a different in round 2, I think, but still a pretty dominant fashion from Lunar Synergy. Schmalz definitely changing the tide a little bit, getting a little bit more of a more attacks onto Lunar Synergy, but just not enough. So, what do you think going into round 3 Schmalz might need to do?
I think what it comes down to is Lunar Synergy is taking advantage of the timing and the timing on those hits. So I think Schmalz is going to have to either be a bit more patient or a bit more strategic about the timing.
Yeah, I mean, and we're seeing a lot of the melee attacks from Schmalz. We're not seeing a lot of that, PK Fire, PK Thunder. It's just a lot of, running up. As I say that, we are seeing a PK Fire, but it didn't work out. And it looked like Schmalz trying to bait out some sort of off the map play, off the platform play from Lunar Synergy. But because Lunar Synergy knows this game in and out, is very comfortable on Byleth, not trying to push or not being too risky there, waiting for that grappling hook to come out and being able to return to the fight. Schmalz on 2 stocks remaining already, not even a full minute off the clock. Wow. And as I say that, another stock taken off the board Lunar Synergy, man, I would never, ever want to play him in Smash. I would forfeit right away. And that's me. Because I am not good at Smash. I'll fully admit that.
Smalls is putting up a good fight here.
Yeah, no, Smalls is definitely a good opponent to Lunar Synergy, but Lunar Synergy just really proving this dominance. We're seeing more and more attacks, and I think we're seeing just really waiting for Schmalz to return back to the arena when they're knocked off the platform. And that is ultimately what you need. You need to be smart. You cannot be too risky. You have to be able to understand that, hey, I could fall off. And as I say that, Lunar Synergy getting the last killing blow onto Schmalz, knocking him out of the arena and taking round 3. A good 3-0 tonight on game 1 from Lunar Synergy. What a matchup. What did you think?
Lunar Synergy did great, especially with those edge guarding plays. Just able to get the hard hit after every time they fell off the map. Schmalz fell off the map, and ultimately that Lunar Synergy was able to dominate that way.
I think definitely the edge guarding is a really good play. Something we've really seen Lunar Synergy excel at. But that is it. 3-0 for map 1. Or game 1, I should say. I'm used to Overwatch. But game 1, Lunar Synergy having a great time. Now we will be back after just a few at 6:30. Sorry, for our game 2 of tonight, 2 of 4. We are going to be having Dean Machine for Carthage versus Warrior for Life from North Central University. Once again, that is at 6:30 p.m. So don't go anywhere. You have a little bit of a break, so go pop some popcorn, go get comfy, put some pajamas on. It's Friday night. You're having a great time with us, and I'm having a great time with you. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Let me hear you say, get louder. Let me hear you say, get louder.
You show me how to feel love. You show me how to feel love, feel love, feel love, feel love. You show me how to feel love. Now my heartbreak is over. You show me how to feel love. Now my heart feels so open.
Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's Smash Ultimate Series. We are heading into game number 2 of tonight. Game 1 was Lunar Synergy versus Schmalls from Fisher College. Now, Lunar Synergy just what a player, going 3-0, he didn't lose a single stock that entire series. What a beautiful matchup. And now Schmalls definitely gave him a run for his money, definitely putting in a lot of attacks, but it wasn't enough to do any sort of significant damage to Lunar Synergy because he was able to dodge around. He was dodging, ducking, dip, diving, and dodging. Beautiful series of events. Going 3-0, I was really happy to see that. Now we are heading into game number 2, though. Dean Machine for your Carthage Firebirds against Warrior for Life from North Central University. Both players 0-2 in their season. Hopefully, we're going to see some good performances here. What are you hoping to see from this match?
I'm hoping to see maybe even a more even match. I mean, Lunar Synergy really dominated there, so I'm excited to see the matchup here.
Now, I know that Dean Machine kind of struggling in the past weeks, being able to really have some close matches. Most of the matches, if I remember correctly, were down to like the last stock. Unfortunately, those 1 or 2, moments that just kind of cause some issues. I think the big thing that we're seeing Dean Machine struggle with is just, making sure that it is, I wouldn't say a flawless performance because it's really hard to be flawless, but it's sometimes, attacking when you shouldn't be able to, when you shouldn't have to, or it's too dangerous, or falling off the side of the platform, is great, but you need to be able to confirm that you can come back if you're doing it intentionally. But ultimately, I'm excited to see our matchup for tonight. Now, what is your favorite champion on this game? This champion.
My favorite one
setup.
to play.
Yeah.
My favorite person to play. I usually go for the Pokemon trainer pick.
Really?
Yes. I don't think that was my OG. I used to do a lot of Kirby playing, some Pikachu. I do really enjoy the Pokemon trainer. Charizard just absolutely destroys people, and I love it.
Oh yeah, Charizard, what a classic. Now, was Charmander your starter Pokemon if you ever played him?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it
Really?
was.
Okay, I was a Squirtle guy, so I'm not saying I'm better than you. But,
I do
Squirtle-
also really love Squirtle.
Squirtle beats Charmander every day of the week, and that is no contest.
I can't say I'm entirely disagreeing.
But I think Pokemon Trainer is definitely someone in this game, especially having that variety in a sense. Being able to use, Charizard's ability, getting a lot of more, I wouldn't say more vertical play, but being able to kind of fly in a sense really helps. And then, Squirtle seeming to be a little bit more of a kind of a right into the fight, kind of close quarters. But Dean Machine, though, I think we're gonna see. What do you think we're gonna see from him?
I'm hoping we're gonna see some more strategic plays here. Maybe a focus on just timing those moves right, really getting those hard hits in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who Dean Machine was playing last week, but I'm excited to see what the matchup is.
I think we've seen some Wolf plays from him in the past. I'm not quite sure if that is what we're going to see from him tonight because, I think it's definitely, Wolf is great, but it really depends on who you're playing against. And I think it's all about those smart counters. If you're playing, if you lose round one by such a large margin, you're going to probably need to switch, pending what the issue was in round one. And I think, Wolf, as much as I love him, there's just some people who are, I think, a little bit better, a lot better at forcing those aerials or getting really close. I think Wolf has that hybrid of long range, the distance attacks, and close quarters. But is it enough for whomever they, are up against? And we won't know that up until round number one. And as I say that, we are heading into round number one. Dean Machine against Warrior for Life. And as we predicted, it looks like Dean Machine playing Wolf against Sora. Now, what do you think of this matchup?
Honestly, an interesting matchup. I'm excited to see the characters against each other. I actually don't know much about Sora compared to Wolf and what the counters are.
I know Sora is definitely a newer fighter in the pool. It's newer in a sense of the latest person to be added.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna be seeing a lot more of a close quarters matchup, especially against Wolf. Wolf being able, like I was saying, to really get into the nitty gritty of it, making sure to get right in there for the fight. But I think we're gonna see. I don't know. I really don't know what to expect from Dean Machine. I think Wolf is good. I think Wolf can be great, especially under the hands of Dean Machine. I was seeing Dean Machine out there playing and practicing, really making sure to work on those mechanics. So I am excited to see how this is going to go. And I do like the color palette they chose.
Oh, for sure.
The black jacket with the red stripes. I love it. Same with Sora. As we say that, we are getting right into the battle. A little bit of lag there, but hopefully that can be resolved very shortly. Sora, though, immediately forcing Dean into a little bit of an aerial, but it isn't enough to stay up there, and a lot of kind of dodging and weaving, kind of what I was saying earlier. It's just kind of spaced out. We're seeing Dean Machine play smart, though. I think we might be seeing him play kind of the forcing off the ledge, you know, making sure that it's baiting the Sora to jump off the side. But it's not enough as we see the Sora laying down a ton of combos into Dean Machine. Dean Machine using that shield to kind of prevent it, but it looks like Warrior was able to read that rather well and just not attacking that shield, which is not what Dean Machine was wanting. And unfortunately, it is more and more damage. But looking at the score, though, the damage counters, it's pretty even. We are seeing, despite Dean not doing a lot of like immediate direct combos, the hits that he is getting in are enough to do a decent amount to really even it out. Now, as I say that, Sora taking the first stock off of Dean's stock pool, and as I say that, and it's just Dean's gonna retaliate and take one off of Warrior's stock pool. So now we are back from scratch, 2-2 in the stocks, and they're just playing very smart here. I think these two players are really smart, really able to kind of figure it out. What are you thinking?
Sora's really fast-paced character, and they're moving all around the map, and Dean's doing a great job at keeping up with that.
Yeah.
But
and as we can see here, just as I was hoping, we're seeing Wolf really lay down some of that ranged attack, firing that pistol from the other side of the platform, doing a decent amount of poke damage until Sora comes in, dealing some quick damage there, some quick burst damage, and forcing that up air into, or the up attack, I should say, knocking Sora out of the arena. One stock left for Warrior, and Dean is going to be laying down those pistol bursts once again, doing a decent amount of damage. Very, very good strategy there. And for some reason, we weren't seeing Warrior use that shield. Now we're seeing it continue. What do you think? Why do you think Warrior's not really able to dodge these?
The shield timing is quite interesting. I'm not sure if the timing was having an influence on whether he put his shield up or not, but that might have been the right decision to try and back out of that there.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, it was interesting. It happened for a lot longer than I was expecting. Nobody was really moving. Dean was just like, all right, it's working. I'm going to keep doing it.
Just getting those hits off.
Yeah, and honestly, Warrior is dangerously close to being just one smash hit away from getting knocked out and this round going to Dean Machine. But here we see Sora using a little bit of a that lightning attack to do a little bit of a ranged attack. Honestly, I think that is a pretty good decision there. And we're seeing fireballs being launched, and more, and then Dean Machine getting that up air into that smash, knocking Sora out of the fight one last time. Dean Machine taking round one. What a round. Yep. That was a very interesting round. What did you think?
I also thought it was very interesting. I think Dean Machine was really able to take advantage of some of the longer range abilities that Wolf has, and again was able to get those hits off without Sora really being able to defend themselves. Even though having quite quick attacks and a lot of good combos, Dean was just able to get those hits off.
Now going into round number 2, do you think we're going to see any of them switch up?
I'm going to guess no. Honestly, we have not seen in the past weeks a lot of people switching off their mains, even if like it wasn't working or countering the character, which honestly, that's great. That's good to see. But just by that reason, I don't think we're going to see anyone switch up today. I mean, you never know.
It worked for Dean, and I think from Warrior, I think if I were Warrior, I think I would switch to somebody a little bit more of a closer matchup. I think, you're able, Sora is really good at that close quarters and has the ability to do a little bit of ranged attacks. We can see with the fireball and the lightning, but it just didn't seem to be enough to really reach Wolf in some of those instances. We saw Wolf was just kind of at the perfect distance, far enough away that none of the attacks could come through. But we didn't see Warrior kind of run in and try and dodge those attacks, because you could jump up and dodged all of those pistol shots, but it wasn't enough.
Right.
And on that map, especially with those those aerial platforms, being able to jump onto that and then you just kind of fall on top of Wolf, But as I said before the match, Wolf having that close quarters abilities, those close quarters attacks, being able to jab and claw and do some really quick damage. Ultimately, I'm curious what we're gonna see from these next matchups.
Mm-hmm. For sure. As you were saying, like the aerial platforms, we didn't see a lot of. You really need to take advantage of them, especially getting the aerial combat is really important, and that's part of the reason why Sora wasn't able to get away from some of those fights.
Yeah, well, and we saw both players very smart. They were playing very, very smart. They were spread out. They were from a distance, not trying to go, force each other head on, take each other head on, and I don't know. Is that a style you want? If you're having a matchup in that case, Wolf versus Sora, do you want, if you were Sora, do you want to take Wolf close quarters, or let me phrase it this way: if you were Wolf, you're a Dean Machine. Do you want, because you're that hybrid fighter, do you want to take Sora close quarters, or do you want to keep that range?
Honestly, I think we saw Dean Machine. There was a lot of both. I think the range is important. I would have to. I think you need a good balance of both, to be honest. You have to find a good balance, especially when Sora does kind of have sort of some ranged abilities and some not. It's good to have a combination of both.
Yeah, we saw Dean Machine using some of those up air attacks, knocking Sora right above them, lining it up perfectly and just hitting that perfect shot up, knocking Sora out of the fight. And that is that's what's important. Those damage counters, the higher they are, the greater chances you are that you're going to be able to use one of those powerful attacks and knock the person out. The person with that high number. And that is exactly what we saw. We saw Dean taking a decent amount of damage, but really playing the time, really pacing themselves. And hopefully we're going to see that moving in to round number 2. I'm not quite sure when the players, I believe they're just really getting ready. We might go for a quick 30-second-ish break while we figure out what both players are doing. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with round number 2.
Walking out on us, or am I losing touch? Too many games, now all our chips are lost. Luck was not enough. I opened my eyes.
Welcome back, everybody, for Game 2, round number 2 of Game 2. We have Dean Machine versus Warrior for Life for North Central University. Now, round number 1, Dean Machine, really, really good player. We saw a lot of really smart plays. It wasn't all about speed. It was all about just playing it out, making sure you find those windows, and it really worked out. Now, going into round 2, what do you expect to see from Dean Machine?
Well, seeing that we're going against the same matchup again, I'm hoping Dean just continues playing strategically, just playing that timing, and also playing the rain.
Yeah, now right off the bat, we're seeing Sora take Dean into the air for an aerial battle. But as we're seeing here, they're really, really pacing out. They're playing smart. And I think that is something that is a very underrated strategy in this game. It's not about doing as much damage as you can as quick as possible. It's about kind of reading your opponent, really trying to anticipate certain things and reading it and baiting it. And as I say that, Dean Machine getting one stock off of the board once right away for Warrior for Life. Now, we're seeing Dean Machine really put in another sort of situation that we saw in round 1, just playing from a distance and just shooting pistol shot after pistol shot. And we are seeing that Warrior for Life is able to dodge that, is jumping up into the air and making sure that it's not going to be a similar situation where you're just kind of getting shot over and over again. But honestly, I'm really happy with what we're seeing here from Dean Machine. Just really able to make some really smart plays. And getting that grapple and laying down jab after jab, hit after hit, and more shield work. We are seeing Dean Machine landing some really well-timed shield deployments. And it's able to kind of soak up some really, really good hits from Warrior. You know, it's able to kind of protect Dean from any sort of notable damage here. And hopefully we're going to see another smash attack from... You know, if we could, I wonder if we're going to see a sub 2-minute matchup. You know, we are 40 seconds away from just the 5-minute mark, and we're already seeing Warrior for Life down to 1 stock. So will we see Dean Machine be able to take out this last remaining stock with I wouldn't say only 30 seconds, in 30 seconds, I should say, in more and more time being burned off the clock, and Dean is once again just playing smart. Kind of anticipating these baiting these attacks, you know, using that shield to kind of just soak it up, waiting for that opening of, hey, you just exhausted all of your attacks in this combo, and then using it and popping, doing his own combo, you know, and making sure that it's going to be a bad time. And as I say that, Dean Machine getting a smash, and I wouldn't say once again, unfortunately, no. He did have 3 stocks remaining in round number 1.
Yeah,
and he's going to be finishing with 3 stocks in round number 2. Might be a repeat of what we saw with in game 1 with Lunar Synergy, just not losing a stock at all. But that was round number 2. Really quick round number 2. What did you think?
Definitely very interesting. The shield play there, I think, was definitely the key part to that round. Warrior for Life just unable to really time a lot of those shields correctly, rather than Dean Machine was able to just use the shielding ability in a much more useful way, just the timing on it, and I think that ended up helping him a lot in the long run.
Yeah, we really didn't see any sort of shielding from Warrior for Life, and I think it definitely showed Dean Machine able to time it really well, but also getting these smart attacks. Ultimately resulting in that win on round number 2. Now 2-0 in the series. Dean Machine just needs to win one more round to call it there for the game. So we're going to take a quick break while we get ready for round number 3. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, everybody, for round number 3 of tonight's second matchup, Dean Machine versus Warrior for Life from North Central University. Dean Machine running Wolf once again, working out really, really well in rounds number 1 and 2. And we are seeing Warrior for Life running that Mii Brawler. And I think Mii Brawler is going to definitely change things up against a Wolf here. Going to be able to kind of really quickly get in close, knock Dean Machine around, do a ton of damage. And that is exactly what we're seeing. But we're seeing more shield play here from Warrior for Life. We're seeing a lot more of a, I wouldn't say a faster, I mean, we are seeing a very fast matchup here already. A lot smarter. We're seeing a lot more shield usage as well. Stuff we did not see in those previous rounds. And right away, Dean Machine, though, laying down a ton of shots. It looked like Warrior for Life kind of just, almost just kind of fell in midair and just not even trying. But I don't know. I don't think Mii Brawler has as good of a return to the arena ability set as we've seen from like Byleth, or, you know, NECC can do it as well if you time it perfectly. I could never do it on NECC. But Wolf already just proving to be a pretty dominant fighter against the Mii Brawler. You know, what do you think?
I think like Mii Brawler, the good upwards attack, getting some good damage. The variety of abilities isn't very strong.
Yeah, I mean, already we're seeing that very consistent attack. You know, grappling, bringing them up into the air, and then slamming them downwards. It's working a little bit. You know, it's putting some damage onto Dean Machine, but it's not enough. And Warrior for Life just kind of falling through the air once again off the stage, not even really trying to come back into the arena. Honestly, I would have given up too, because I don't think when you're that far away, there's just really no way to do it. Kind of accepting that fate. Dean Machine, though, can be putting in more pistol shots into the air, kind of repeating what we've seen in the previous 2 rounds, where it just from that distance, more and more chaos being caused upon Warrior for Life, and that is going to be it. And we're seeing Dean Machine kind of falling off, a little bit of a celebration there, winning round 3 rather quickly, rather flawlessly. I love to see it. I was really happy for this win. Definitely a very good win. Now, first win of the season on Dean Machine. What do you think? Do you think he's really happy about that?
I'm sure he's happy. That was a great 3 rounds, just playing very smart, very slow, great shield play. It was a great matchup, but Dean Machine really took that one home.
Oh yeah, and I'm excited to see the future of Dean Machine seasons. I think that was definitely the best matchup, the best series, best game we've seen so far this season from Dean Machine, and I'm excited to see. And I definitely know he's been putting in that work, putting in the hours, making sure to really improve where he's really needing to, and it's showing. So I'm excited to see what we're going to see next week and the weeks after that. But we do have 2 more games later tonight. Next one coming up at 7 o'clock, so we're going to take a quick break while we get ready for that one. We're going to be having Fuzzy versus Bleezes for Waldorf University, so don't go anywhere. Unless you're getting popcorn or going to the bathroom, putting pajamas on. Get comfy. We'll be right back.
like Lego, my ego, let's go. Mr. Incredible, edible, no bento. I step out, girls put their head out windows. Their boyfriends call their heads down, black windows. All about my paper like them again Mayweather. Unpredictable like Russia's Mayweather. I told my girl she ain't gon' break my heart never. Look back and say that they never say never. Never say never. They never say never. Never say never. They never say never. Never say. Never say. Never say. Never say never. Never say. Never say. Never say. They never say never. Fresh like Lego, my ego, let's go. Mr. Incredible, edible, no bento. I step out, girls put their head out windows. Their boyfriends call their heads down, black windows. All about my paper like them again Mayweather. Unpredictable like Russia's Mayweather. I told my girl she ain't gon' break my heart never. Look back and say that they never say never. Never say never. They never say never. Never say never. They never say never. Never say. Never say. Never say. Never say never. Never say. Never say. Never say. They never say never. Never say never. Never say never. They never say never. Never say never. They never say never. Never say. Never say. Never say. Never say never. Never say. Never say. Never say. They never say never.
get it right the first time, then you know you got it. Anytime you want it, babe, all you gotta do is make it hot. And then you know you got my body locked. Lock my body, make it. And lock my body, make it hot. Lock my body, make it. And lock my body, make it hot. If you get it right the first time, then you know you got it. Anytime you want it, babe, all you gotta do is make it hot. And then you know you got my body locked. If you get it right the first time, then you know you got it. Anytime you want it, babe, all you gotta do is make it hot. And then you know you got my body locked.
Welcome back, everybody, to our third match of tonight, your Smash Ultimate Team for your Carthage Firebirds. Game 3 going to be Fuzzy versus Bleezus from Waldorf University. Fuzzy having a great game tonight, having a great success last night on that Overwatch team, especially too. So I'm hoping he can continue that victory streak here. But you know, games 1 and 2 of tonight. First one being Lunar Synergy just going 3-0 and not losing a single stock, and then Dean Machine going 3-0 and not losing a stock. I'm very curious to see what we're going to see here from Fuzzy. Seeing a Yoshi versus completely forgot her name. I apologize. Palatena. I know she was from the one with why can't I think of his name? The Angel dude. I really am struggling here. But honestly, Fuzzy against this, I think Fuzzy might be at advantage. You know, you're having a little bit more of a direct fighter as opposed to a kind of a distant, you know, I would say mage in a sense, you know, using those abilities, focusing on those abilities on more of a distant attack. Whereas Fuzzy, I mean, as Yoshi, you're just going to be able to get really close, you know, use those eggs, throw those eggs from a distance, but also punch rather hard when you get really close and into it. What are you expecting from this?
I think the Yoshi matchup is really interesting here. I'm definitely expecting a lot of close battles, damage being done, and Fuzzy loses a stock there.
Unfortunately, getting smashed and knocked out of the arena into the screen as well. That is going to be an expensive fix for whoever's running that stadium. But Fuzzy back in the arena, knocking out another stock, really coming back, bringing that momentum, turning it back in his favor. And in quick succession, too. That was a really quick return and smash there from Fuzzy. So hopefully we can see that again against this Palutena. But Yoshi, though, I don't know. I love the purple I love the purple palette. That doesn't give any sort of advantage, I don't think. But in my book, it does. And we are seeing just some pretty smart plays. We're seeing a lot more shield play and a lot more smarter attacks, but not like as a slower matchup as we saw with Dean Machine, where it's like you're getting close, you're getting those hits in, but you're not. You're doing it. You're kind of doing a quick succession, good combo, and then kind of dashing. It's a hit and run in a sense. But I mean, I'm liking this. We're seeing some really good play from both of these players here, Fuzzy and Bleezes. But Fuzzy gonna take Palutena into his mouth, do a decent amount of damage, and we are seeing Fuzzy, I think, with those returns to the stage, you know, falling off the side, but being able to kind of fly up in a sense, which oddly enough, Yoshi as a dinosaur. I don't know how that works, but it works because of the shoes, I think. It's the magical shoes, the Nikes. They're Air Jordans, but more...
Fuzzy getting a huge hit there, not enough to knock Bleezes off, and Bleezes gets the big hit there.
That was unfortunate there, but Bleezes having a very, very large number, a very large percentage on that damage tracker. So, you know, Fuzzy could get one good smash here, especially a vertical air, to knock Bleezes off of the stadium and taking another stock. But honestly, those you got to be careful. You're seeing Fuzzy kind of get baited off the side of the arena because Yoshi can fly. It does work, but you got to be careful. You know, you can't be baited too much because it could cause some issues. But we're seeing a lot slower play all of a sudden. You know, I think Fuzzy realizes they're on their last stock, and you know, it could be one hit and you're gone. But the same thing goes for Bleezes. You know, Fuzzy could get a really good hit here very shortly and knock Bleezes off the arena. And we just saw a bait there. The teleport was amazing there on Palutena. I didn't realize it was that powerful until you just suddenly you're not even have to fly. You don't have to fly up. You just kind of blink back into existence right on the safety. And unfortunately, Fuzzy not able to get a last hit there and getting knocked off round one. Not going to Fuzzy, unfortunately, but was still a very, very good series, and I think Fuzzy is going to be able to adapt into round two. What do you think?
I think Palutena there has a good range of abilities. Yoshi's a great character, but when it comes to the range, the egg throw, at least in this case, wasn't dealing a lot of damage. Palutena was able to get those quick up air combos that just did a lot of quick damage. But still a great round from both of them.
Oh yeah, I think the eggs are great, but they're just very slow. Their arc is very slow.
Yes.
So it's really easy for somebody to kind of time that shield or kind of just step out of the way in a sense. So I would not be surprised if we saw Fuzzy switch for this next round. But while we prepare for this next round, we're going to take a quick break while they, you know, figure out what they're going to be doing, what maps, what fighters they're going to choose. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Mind's been floating a million miles from home. Head in the clouds, I've forgotten how I alone. Oh, been chasing dreams since I was young. I never stop. Oh, if I fail, I will get back up. I get what I want. Oh, 'cause I see you in my shoes, standing where I'm meant to be. Got everything, nothing to lose, so I keep living my dream. I'll hold the ropes, I won't give up. I'll tie this down. It's at my luck. It's at
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Going into round number 2, we have Fuzzy versus Bleezes. Once again, Fuzzy switching off the Yoshi onto the Sora, and I think that is going to be the choice that he needs. I think Sora against the Palutena is, personally, I think it's going to be a stronger pick. You're going to be able to get really close, do a lot of really quick damage, really good combos, and just kind of overall just, I think you have that even mix of abilities that's going to do a lot of damage to Palutena. That teleport, though, we did see from Palutena try to get back out of the stage, but it just wasn't angled properly and was going to be the downfall, literally and metaphorically. Losing one stock there, Fuzzy's still at that 3. Now, that was a really quick stock off the board. What do you think is going through Bleezes' mind already?
I think Bleezes is thinking that was an unfortunate mistake, and it's going to cost him a lot to return back and hopefully get a stock down on Fuzzy.
Yeah, but that teleport is definitely something Fuzzy's going to have to take into account, and probably is taking into account, because not only could they teleport back onto the platform, but they could teleport behind you, basically. And we do see Fuzzy, unfortunately, getting a stock off as well. 2-2 right now, and not much time off the clock. So, like, this is a really, really fast-paced game, I think. 2 really good players. We are seeing the edge guarding there from Fuzzy, but it wasn't enough. Palutena kind of teleporting right on top of Sora and not able to really get any... Sora's not able to get any sort of hits onto Palutena there. Hopefully we're seeing Fuzzy like try and bait Palutena off the side here. Unfortunately, Bleezes is not going to be baited and is going to knock Fuzzy off once again. 2 stocks left. It's really coming down to the wire. Fuzzy is just needing to get this upper hand, and it does not look like it's really working. I think I'm shocked here because I thought Sora was going to be that strong, but we're seeing that these abilities here and the edge guarding knocking Bleezes off the stage, and now tying it up once again, 1 stock to 1 stock. It is now down to the wire. Neither player can afford to lose another life. They have to be playing this perfectly. They can't, be risking it by jumping off the stage, trying to bait a fall here. And unfortunately, as I say that, it is not needed. Bringing Fuzzy into that up aerial, Palutena was able to do a quick several bits of attack, several combos, and knocking Fuzzy off onto that last stock. Round 2 going to Bleezes for Waldorf University. Now there's still a lot of we could see Fuzzy win game 3 going into a game 4. What do you think?
I think the Sora switch was a great choice. I'm hoping Fuzzy sticks with it because that was a great matchup. Palutena was just they were trading very big hits off each other, both doing a lot of serious damage. So in this next game, I'm looking forward to see what Fuzzy pulls through with.
Yeah. But I agree. I think Sora was definitely the pick here. But looking at Fuzzy's playstyle, I don't know. I think it was just Bleezes getting really good hits in, really good timing in, reading some of these, attempts at knocking, Palutena off, and that teleport, is definitely something you got to be careful with. I mean, it worked out. It was the downfall at one point, having too much of a vertical teleportation, not just slightly off the arena. I think was like 2 feet away from being back out of the arena. But hopefully we can see Fuzzy kind of change it up mechanically. And in this round 3, this is it. This is it for Fuzzy. Needs to win this one to come back for this week. Will we see that change up? Will we see more success from Fuzzy? What do you think?
I think Fuzzy can really bring it here. Unfortunately, getting damage taken already, but I think Fuzzy has a great chance here.
Yeah, I think if you time these those ability uses, the fireball or the Ice shot freezing Palutena is going to be a really good maneuver, but we're seeing the fireballs, which is able to do a decent amount of damage, but we're not seeing many ice shots. I think there's just not seeing the windows, not seizing the windows to use that ability, but also just not even getting those windows. I mean, you have those windows, but they're not as ample as you'd expect. But the fireballs, I think we're going to be seeing a little bit more from Fuzzy here. I think the Blizzaga, as it's called, not the ice shot, but we did see it right there. But both people on the ground, Fuzzy able to get back into the arena though. What a play! That was beautiful to see there. I was very scared there, but he was able to really time those inputs, making sure that combo would lead to enough vertical height gain to make him to save him, basically.
Yeah, those recoveries can really make or break.
Yeah, but
Character.
there's still a lot to be played. You get one stock off the board, but you got to be making sure that you can come back and not lose another stock yourself, especially when you're at 130%. One hit from Palutena is going to knock Fuzzy off. I can guarantee it. As I say that, exactly what happens, knocking Fuzzy down to 2 stocks. We're seeing another even matchup there in the stock pool. So you got to be careful. You cannot afford to really do that. And we're seeing some more edge guarding. Fuzzy, I don't know. I don't know if Fuzzy's really trying to bait the greediness in a sense, knocking Fuzzy off the side. Will Palutena kind of go down trying to finish him off? Or are we just going to see, because we have seen a lot of edge guarding, really making sure I'm not going to go down there, but you're going to have to come up here, and I'm going to make sure that you are knocked off quite shortly after. But honestly, I think we're seeing both of these players really knowing what the other person is going to what the other person is going to do. We're seeing just kind of smarter. It really is showing they're kind of anticipating what the other person is going to be doing. And that's good and bad. It's good because then you can get those shots in, but as I say that, unfortunately, Fuzzy not able to survive that return to the arena and getting knocked off. Bleezus, though, is like one really good hit away from getting the same situation, getting knocked off and tying it up once again, 1 stock to 1 stock. Will we see that, though? Will Bleezus be able to knock Fuzzy out of the arena? Oh, will Fuzzy get that? Oh, he's able to come back. It's Bleezus read that. I gotta say, Bleezus read that rather well.
Yes.
I think timed it perfectly.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Fuzzy not able to kind of get that ground and get back into the arena with enough of a delay before Bleezus, unfortunately, getting that last smash onto Fuzzy, knocking him out, going 3-0. Bleezus going 3-0 tonight. Unfortunately, Fuzzy not getting that win. But I'm hoping that we see some improvement from Fuzzy. I mean, I shouldn't say that because we saw some really, really good plays from Fuzzy. I think was just a difficult matchup tonight.
Yes, for
There's
sure.
no shame in that, especially when Bleezus, you
sure.
switched. So that was the thing. Fuzzy switched to Sora, and that is something we don't see that often. I think is a very smart play. It shows they're really figuring out, maybe I need to switch it up. And we saw a drastic improvement when going on to Sora. What did you think?
Yeah, for sure. The Sora matchup was a lot better because I think both characters are a bit more fast-paced in the way they are able to move around the stage and get around the stage. As Yoshi did not have a lot of range, was a little bit slower. The attacks were a little bit slower. So it ended up being a better matchup, but Bleezus was just able to get the timing on the edge and just hit those strong hits that Fuzzy wasn't able to get off as many.
Yeah, was an unfortunate night for Fuzzy, but I think Fuzzy definitely we've seen some great plays in the past weeks, so there's absolutely no shame. Losing happens, and you can only get better at this point. And going into next week, I know Fuzzy's going to be putting in that time, dedicating himself to really watching these videos, watching the recordings of this match, figuring out what he needs to fix. And ultimately, Bleezus just a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, it really showed, was just a really, really good player, a tough matchup. But that is all we have for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow us on all of our social medias at Carthage Esports. We'll be back on Tuesday for some Rainbow Six Siege. I believe it's going to be around 6 o'clock. But we will post that on our social medias. So definitely join us there for that game. It's going to be a great series to watch. But thank you once again for watching, and have an excellent weekend.